Hi, my name is Nur Arifah.
Hi, my name is Hakimi.
Hi everyone, my name is Nur Tashajan binti Muhammad Ismail.
Hi, I'm Nurin Kashrina.
Hi, my name is Shahira.
We are going to explain about language choice in multilingual communities, topic 2, and we are going to elaborate about sociolinguistic motivation for code switching. So, let's get started with our first subtopic, which is definition and key concept. Okay, so let's start with the first one, definition and key concept. I am going to explain about the code switching first. What is code switching? Code switching is the process of shifting from one language or dialect to another. Code switching usually happens at a sentence level and also one language is dominant. Meanwhile, for code mixing, I am going to elaborate about code mixing a little bit so that we don't get confused here. Code mixing usually use phrases or words between two or more language in the same conversation. Code mixing usually happens only at the word level and also the language blended within the same sentences. So let's take a look at the first example I have for code switching. For the first one I have is English and Bahasa Melayu. What do you want to order? Aku nak beli ni. And for the second example is Terengganu dialect and colloquial standard Bahasa Melayu. Pah nak makan benda? Aku lapar ni. And then, let's move on to the code mixing example. The first one I have is Aku nak order makanan ni. Order is coming from an English language we put into the Bahasa Melayu sentence we mix together. For the second example I have is Kelas tadi draining gila kan? For the class word and draining is also an English word got into a Bahasa Melayu sentences. So I think that is it from me. I am going to pass to Natasha Jan.
Assalamualaikum and hi everyone, my name is Nur Tashajan binti Muhammad Ismail and today I'll be explaining the different types of code switching based on Jeanette Holmes' framework. Code switching isn't random, it follows patterns and happens for a specific reasons. First is situational code switching. It happens when someone changes language because of the setting or who they're talking to. For example, a student might speak English in class but switch to Malay or Chinese when talking to family at home. The situation triggered a switch. Secondly is metaphorical code switchings. It happens in the same situation but the speaker switches language to show attitude, emotion and closeness. Like when teacher said, "Please do your homework, okay?" Using English to sound friendly, even in a Malay speaking classroom. Third is tag switching is when we add a small phrase or word from another language at the end of a sentence. For example, "We're leaving now lah." That little lah is a Malay particle added to an English sentence. It's very common in Malaysian conversation and also Singaporean. Fourth is intrasentential switchings, means switching language in the middle of sentence. Example, "I need to top up my card." The top up is English but used inside a Malay sentence show fluency in both language. And finally is intersentential switching is when the switch happen in between sentences. Like, let's go to the mall, nanti kita singgah kedai kopi. One sentence in English, then next in Malay. Smooth and natural in bilingual speech. So, as we can see, code switching is not a sign of confusion. It's a skill, meaningful way people use language in multilingual communities.
Hi, my name is Shahira and I'm from section BE 406. And right now I'm going to explain about real life examples, which I already provide 3 examples. So for the first example is Malaysian context, Malay English code switching in urban yard conversations. So this is normal among Malaysians, which they switch between Malay and English. So for the first dialogue is, "Kau dah tengok latest movie kat cinema tu?" "Belum lagi lah, don't spoil, nanti I watch this weekend." And then for the second example, which is in the United States, many Spanish speaking communities mix Spanish and English. This is called Spanglish. "Mommy, I got an A in math today. A mijo, I'm so proud of you." So for the third example is Chinese English mixing among Malaysian Chinese. Among Chinese Malaysians, Mandarin English mixing is also common. "Nijo want homework lemah, teacher yao show le. Hi Mela, too difficult, I need more time." So that's all the 3 real life examples that I've provided for this topic. And right now I'm going to pass to Kashrina to explain about the core motivations.
Hi, I'm Nurin Kashrina and I'll be explaining on the next subtopic, which is the core motivations. So for this topic, we have two core motivations, which are the social and identity related motivations, as well as situational and pragmatic motivations. So under social and identity related motivations, we have two examples, which are ethnic and cultural identity, as well as social status and prestige. So for the first example, which is ethnic and cultural identity, code switching can be a way to display or reinforce one's ethnic or cultural background, often through the use of a particular dialect or accent. Speakers may switch languages to show that they belong to a certain group. This can also increase solidarity with the others in the conversation. So next, we have social status and prestige. Switching to a more prestigious language can be a strategy to signal to a higher social status, while other switches might indicate a desire for secluded prestige within a community. Code switching to a dominant group's language can be seen as an attempt to achieve equivalent and respect. We also have two examples under the core motivations of situational and pragmatic motivations, which are clarification and emphasis, as well as topic and situation. What does it mean by clarification and emphasis? It means that code switching can be used to rephrase a message, clarify a difficult point, as well as emphasize a specific idea. On the other hand, topic and situation, according to scholars like Myers-Cotton, it means that the specific topic or the setting of the conversation, like formal or informal, can influence the choice to code switch. Next, we'll be moving on to the next subtopic, which will be presented by Muhammad Hakimi.
Thank you, Kashrina. Hi, my name is Hakimi and I'm from the section BE 4.06, and today, let's look at a case study from Malaysia, the educational comedy series called Oh My English. This show ran from 2012 until 2017 and was a collaboration between Astro and the Ministry of Education. It was designed not only to entertain but also to improve students' English proficiency while reflecting the way Malaysians actually speak. One of the most striking features of Oh My English is its use of code switching. The characters frequently mix English and Malay in their dialogue, just like how many Malaysians do in their life. For example, a student might say, I memang scared lah nak present, so I hope teacher understand lah. Here you can see three types of code switching. The first one is intra-sentential switching within the same sentence. The second one is tag switching with the word lah. And the third one is mixing English and Malay for ease of expression. But why they do this? Research on the series found 6 main sociolinguistic functions of code switching in the show. The first one is building solidarity with the audience, expressing cultural identity, shifting topics smoothly, making ideas clearer, adding humor and emphasis, and the last one is including words or phrases that are easier to say in one language than the other. Through these switches, Oh My English makes language learning feel natural and relatable. Instead of portraying code switching as a problem, it celebrates as part of Malaysia's multilingual culture. To conclude our presentation, we have seen that code switching is more than just mixing languages. It is a meaningful and purposeful sociolinguistic phenomenon. We begin by defining what code switching is and exploring its key concepts. Then we looked at the different types of code switching, tag switching, inter-sentential switching, and intra-sentential switching. Through real-life examples, we saw how people switch languages in daily conversations, workplaces, and classrooms. We also discussed the core motivations behind code switching, such as expressing identity, building solidarity, showing prestige, making communication clearer, and adding humor or emphasis. Our case study on Oh My English demonstrated how media reflects and normalizes code switching in Malaysia. The series showed that switching languages can be both educational and entertaining, highlighting how it plays a role in learning and identity. So the key takeaway is this: code switching is not a sign of weak language ability, but a strategic tool for effective communication, identity expression, and social connection. It reflects the richness of multilingual societies and should be embraced as part of cultural and linguistic diversity. That is all for today's presentation. I hope you guys understand, and thank you so much to Miss Fatima for giving us this very special opportunity to present regarding this topic. Thank you so much. Bye.